I'm sure you heard about the viral Percy and Willie situation.
I know my law. Hey, don't tell me, Charlie. Don't tell me.
I haven't, sir.
Don't tell me. Don't tell me, boy.
Well, I contacted one of the best law firms around, Akeem and Nastapulo. We got to stop letting stuff slide, y'all. Tell you right now, I'm standing for what's right. What's up?
Boss man, you're good, man.
I have come for my son Akeem.
Welcome back, Motivation Nation. It's your host, Airgordon. Look, this is a follow-up to a video done by this creator, Ben a Critic. And for all of you guys that don't know who this is, he goes around and he does food reviews. Now, in a previous video, which I will have linked in the description, he went to a place in South Carolina, into a restaurant, and he got into it with the owners of the business. And now he's taking it up on himself to sue this restaurant. So if you haven't seen that, you're going to have to go watch it so you can understand what it is that you're looking at here. So let me let him get into this, and then I'm going to give my commentary along the way because I have my own personal thoughts about what he did. But anyway, let me let him get into it, and we'll go from there.
Ooh, sir. I'm sure you heard about the viral Percy and Willie situation.
I know my law. Hey, don't tell me, Charlie. Don't tell me.
I haven't, sir.
Don't tell me. Don't tell me, boy.
Well, I contacted one of the best law firms around, Akeem and Nastapulo. We got to stop letting stuff slide, y'all. Tell you right now, I'm standing for what's right. What's up?
Boss man, you're good, man. Nice and clean.
Mr. Turner may have a few remarks, and then we'll be glad to take your question. We live in a time where too many people, particularly people with power, businesses, and resources, believe that there are no consequences, or that there should be no consequences for how they treat other people. A civil society like ours depends on rules. The conduct alleged in the lawsuit that we have filed today and observed in the video that has made its way around social media by the men of Percy and Willie's falls short of that standard of conduct that we expect in our society. This case is not about seeking special treatment for Mr. Turner or for anybody. It's about the expectation that every person who walks into a business should be treated with basic respect and humanity. When that does not happen, there must be accountability. What will we stand for in our community, and what will we not? It's simply about what is right and what is wrong.
Okay, I got to stop right there. I have to stop right there because what is right, what is wrong? Okay, let's go there, right? You walk into a private restaurant, and his argument is that they didn't want him filming in there, but they allow other people to film in there. They didn't have a problem with him filming in there at first because they gave him a special seat. But he commenced to standing up. He commenced to walking around in a wife beater, making noise. And now they wanted to refuse service. And then they tried to quietly have him go to the front and talk to him. And he escalated the situation from there. So you can't think that you can go in somebody's business, behave the way that you want to behave, and then they just have to accept it because you have a following on the internet. The mistake that I will say that this business did make is when he left, they followed him to the car and tried to box him in. There's no place for that. Once he's left your establishment, left your premises, you let him go on. You don't follow someone and antagonize them and try to box them in. That's where they did fall short, but you can't think that someone has to allow you to be in their business because that's what you want to do. And if they didn't want you filming in there and they allow other people to film in there, that's their business and they can do that. And you can't say that, well, that's right and that's wrong. If they don't want you there, then leave. But this is a new age where people feel as though I'm going to still press the gas at a place that doesn't want me there. And I still want to spend my money and give them a lot more publicity, even though they don't want me there. But anyway, let me let him go on because it's not about fairness at all because you were in there. But anyway, let's let her go. Let's let him go. Sorry.
I appreciate all my fans and supporters for standing with me through this time. You know, I dealt with extreme measures from this situation, and thank you for standing with me.
If you have any questions, we'd be glad to take.
Start on the steepest point, threats. I receive threats every hour because of this situation. It drastically changed my life. Everybody know I wasn't wrong. I'm not a troublemaker. I don't want to boycott. You know, that seems like it's going to cause a lot of problems, and that's what I don't want. I don't want to send problems to Percy and Willis. I want to be neutral. I want to be able to walk by him and be cool. He don't have a problem with me. I wish that's how I could have go. What was the first part of your question? The community support that I got from my fans is, it's something you can't even put in words, man. If I'm late night, I'm late night. I try not to look at all this stuff through the daytime because I'm working through the daytime. But late night, I go strolling on my phone, see all the hate, see all the controversy, everything. I see it. I act like I don't, but I do. My fans be right there sticking for me and saying everything that I want to say. They say it, even if they says it. So there's like a voice for me, you know, my voice speaking through them.
When I saw the video, I knew it was wrong. And, you know, what we do here all day, every day is we take on what is wrong in society. And so I obviously didn't know that he was going to call us. But, you know, I knew right away. I said, yeah, that's the case. The lawsuit's been filed today. They will be served. If they decided not to take that tack, and it's to their detriment, because here's the deal. Civil litigation is a long process. And we only do it one way, and that's hard. And now they're in it. And so that's what the case is about. As soon as I saw the video, I knew it was the case. I don't think Mr. Turner called us for another week and a half or so after that. The call came in, and I said we'd be glad to help. So here we are.
We got calls too from people really all across the country, in shock and disbelief. They seem to think that from the minute he walked in, he was a target. When I say a target for someone they didn't want to talk, right? Is that what you all believe?
Well, so the interesting part is, and we've obviously watched the video, we've done a lot of background research.
First of all, I got to stop it. That's not true because they gave him a chair. But here's the thing about being targeted, right? Let's just say that he was targeted, okay? And if I own a restaurant and you see the way that this, it's one thing like to some of these people who do food reviews, you know, your Keith Lee, your Mr. Chime Time. I guess those are like the two biggest that I really know about. But they get the food, they go sit in their car, they eat it, they give their opinion about it, right? There's another way that this guy goes about it where he gets the food, he eats it right there in front of the place, spits it out, throws the food, and he's very disrespectful about it. Now, if I own a restaurant or a business and I see a guy like this coming, I don't want him in my establishment either. Because we don't know, I wouldn't know if he's giving an honest take or if he's doing this for social media clicks or whatever the case is. See, when you go out and you do these type of reviews and these type of things, you then have to understand that there's consequences for spitting out people's food, talking about it's garbage and it's trash. And this is these people's livelihood on the stake. But this is just a social media click for you. And that's where the irresponsibility kicks in. Okay, give your opinion and move on. But when you start spitting out food and disrespecting people's restaurant right in front of them, and that's their hard-earned hard-earned money that you are putting in jeopardy. And I know what some of you guys are gonna say, if he is his opinion, if he think the food is trash, it's trash. And that's fine. That's fine. He can have that opinion. But you can't then turn around and get upset when people see you coming and they don't want you in the establishment. And that wasn't even the case for this one. That was not even the case. They let him in. After he came out that restroom, him and the lady came out of the restroom. That's when the man wanted to see him. And they wanted him to go. So you have to understand, if this is going to be what you do, understand everybody doesn't want to participate in what it is that you do. And you got to be okay with that. Just like you want them to be okay with you coming in, walking around their establishment in a tank top and shades with a camera. But anyway, let me let this go on.
This establishment and these people. When Mr. Turner arrived at the restaurant, he was welcomed in. He actually was given a special table to do his filming. They put him in the part of the restaurant where they wanted him to do filming. And when he was doing his filming at the table, as he was ordering, as he was receiving the food, everybody knew he was filming. There was no surprise about that.
Because they knew of him.
They knew of him. In fact, when he arrived, there was a wait at Percy and Willis. And the lady came out and said, oh, we know who you are. You come right this way. We have a table for you. He was welcomed in originally. And in fact, in our research, what you'll see is that this place has reviews all the time. It's a known place. People go in on social media and do reviews. The difference in this case is when Mr. Turner was leaving, as he was completing his review, he had already gone to the bathroom, by the way, gave it a good grade.
Too little about it.
And as he was leaving, the manager passed by him. And I'll let him tell you about that, but that's where he felt like things began to turn. Well, not initially.
No. They never said this.
That was their first justification for why they were kicking him out.
Right.
They said, we don't allow videoing in here. Well, we know that's not true because he had already done the video. And the hostess gave him a special table.
Yeah. How is this a rule of your organization if every one of your employees that I passed by saw me recording? They never said nothing.
And you got your dinner?
No, I ordered it though. Never received it.
But everything is going down, Mr. Turner. What in the world are you thinking?
What am I thinking? I'm a man of progression, and I'm still learning every day as I go by. Like I told him earlier, through my daytime, I'm trying to work. I'm trying to fight through all this, but nighttime, that's when it really sinks in and hits home. You know, so yeah, I'm dealing with a tremendous amount of mental issues from this.
See, a lot of people.
Man, this is an issue you caused. Them people told you quietly, let's go to the front, and you talking about for what? Sir, let's go to the front and talk about it. You said for what? Now you're dealing with mental anguish based on something that you caused? This is bananas to me. This is absurd. And the fact that people think that it's okay to just walk around suing people for whatever it is you feel like it's okay to sue them for. I could see if you were going after them for following you to the car and boxing you in. That's one thing. But trying to get you out of their establishment that they own. Come on, man. Like, this is crazy. If it was the other way around and it was his restaurant and he wanted the people out, would he think the way that he behaved, someone behaving the way he behaved, would he think that that was okay? I don't know. I'm just asking. What do y'all think?
They may say, this guy jokes. He lives life, happily. But that's what they're seeing when
Right.
you're doing your job as an independent food critic. But behind closed doors, you're saying you're really.
Man, I'm hurt. It's not only my feelings, it's not just my feelings, it's from, man, you don't know the past trauma I've been through. They cornered me in my car to where I couldn't escape. He don't know what I felt going through my brain at that moment. Like, you never know. And I did seek counseling after this. I'm not about to put all that online though, They got a perception of me saying, oh, he seems happy still, everything's good. Let him keep it, But behind closed doors, people know what's going on too.
You would be surprised at the stuff I was surprised at the stuff that Mr. Turner sent me that people have sent to him in messages online, some people. I mean, threats, as if you watch this video and somehow you think he did something wrong. Which I don't know how you come to that conclusion watching this video, but I mean,
I don't know how you come to that. How you can come to the conclusion that he did nothing wrong if you really watch this video. And I'm just gonna say, you know what? I'm gonna hold my tongue on that part. I'm not gonna say that. But if you watch the video, it's no way that you can say that he was not in the wrong. And if you want to say that they were in the wrong, then fine. But you got to give him some partially being wrong in this. It's not 100% on that establishment, on that restaurant. The only thing I can say that they were 100% wrong on, they had no business following that man to his car. They overstepped their bounds grossly and tremendously on that. You do not follow someone to their car because now you've taken this from one thing into potentially something way different. And you have to be out of your mind to follow somebody to their car because you don't know what this individual has in their car and what's on their mind at that particular point in time. But when he talks about how it makes people feel and the trauma and all of this, how do you think it makes people feel when you go and spit food out in front of their establishment talking about this is terrible food. Let me get up out of here. And all of the money, the time, the sweat, they come in day and day out trying to grow their business. And you think when you do that to people and you have a disparaging review of their restaurant, do you think they get phone calls? Do you think people call them? Do you think people send them nasty letters? Well, they do. So my thing is this: if you're going to dish this out, then you have to also be able to take it if it happens to you. And then on top of that, this is something you caused. You could have just left and this would have been over. But anyway, let me let them go on with this nonsense.
That he has received from people out of this, because again, it all goes back to the fact that we are at a place in our time where people think they can say and do any old kind of thing to another human being. But that's not the rules we live by.
Several causes of action: assault, defamation of character, false imprisonment, negligent supervision, intentional infliction of emotional distress. I mean, it's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot to unpack.
Yeah, it's a lot that happened in that video. I mean, you see this video, and to your point, the first thing they say is, we don't allow videoing in here. He starts to lean into him. We all know what that is. That's an intimidation tactic. Somebody stands over you and starts to lean into you.
After I'm telling everybody, don't touch me.
Right.
The first time you touched me, I said, don't touch me. Because you already touched me. But I'm letting you know, don't touch me.
Right.
Because I know it's wrong. You don't supposed to touch me. You get law enforcement to touch me if needed. But it wasn't even needed.
Right.
I was just trying to get clarification of, why am I being kicked out? Okay, I'm walking out, but why am I being kicked out? Oh, it's your recording. You're recording. Okay, sir, I will stop. He still wanted me out.
He still say, you gotta go, you gotta go. You know, so
I don't agree with anybody sending out threats to somebody over a video. That's just absurd and it's crazy, but that's the time that we live in. And people do feel that they can say and do whatever they want, especially as it pertains to this internet, because most people are not going to be seen and or found. So they'll just say whatever they want. But I will say this, there's no but as far as that goes. Let me transition differently. As far as him being in that restaurant saying he's trying to get clarification as to why I need to leave. If somebody's asking you to leave their establishment, leave their establishment. They don't have to necessarily give you any type of clarification. It's their place. It's like if somebody's in your house and you tell them, hey man, get out of here. Well, I need you to tell me why. I don't need to tell you anything. I just need you to get out of my house. Then on top of that, like I said, they took him to the front. They were like, hey man, let's go to the front. He didn't want to go. He didn't want to move. So he escalated this to a level that it didn't need to go to. He could have just went to the front, see what they had to say. You don't want me here? Cool, I'll move on.
Like they were violating your personal space, they were supposed?
They were. Don't touch me. He pushed me when he was doing it. And you trying to antagonize me. That was the moment right there where you thought I would have probably swung on him.
Right.
But I keep better composure than that.
You heard when the call was made saying that you've been assaulted.
Yeah.
But from what we saw in the video,
they're not. And so,
what I can see is an assault.
correct. And so they're saying Mr. Turner, touched them. That's not in the video. That's not there. That's not in the video. We all watched it. So this is the chain of events we see. We do got one more thing.
Woosah.
Woosah.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe this is a skit. Maybe this ain't real. It'd be hard for me to tell nowadays on the internet what's real and what's not. But I mean, maybe this is a real thing, but I just don't understand how anybody would take a case where if you saw what was going on, this guy was definitely in the wrong here. Yeah, it's unfortunate they didn't want you to film there. They let other people film there. But once somebody asks you in their restaurant, hey man, let's go to the front, and you deny them going to the front, then yeah, you have now escalated. And it's crazy now because there's a guy, I don't know his name, but he goes to every restaurant that Ben the Critic goes to and doesn't like and does a food review. And everybody does it different. Like Keith Lee, he sends other people to get his food so that they don't know it's him. And then Mr. Chime Time, I think he sometimes gets other people to buy the food or he buys it so people don't recognize who he is. And that's just their way of doing it. I'm not saying that that's the way that this guy has to do it, but I have seen him, and he likes to go in and he likes to have a presence, and he likes to make sure that you know that he's in there. And that's okay for some restaurants, but that's not going to be okay for every restaurant. And you have to be okay with that if that's not what this particular restaurant wants. And if they don't want that, you can't impose your will. And just like they say, people think they can say and do whatever they want. Well, sir, your client is one of those people who thinks he can say and do whatever he wants in someone else's establishment. So that's a contradiction right there. He's walking in with a camera talking about woosah, walking inside the restroom. And I think the person, don't quote me on this, I'm not 100% sure, but I think there's a woman filming. So now you have a woman inside the male's restroom when he's solidifying things. And I saw something in the comments that said that that was what the issue was. And that was one of the reasons why they didn't want him there. I don't know if that's true. That's alleged. But we don't know, because when they said, hey man, let's go up to the front, I need to talk to you. And he talking about, for what? Let's talk here. He thought that they were actually trying to do some business with him. And then once he found out they weren't doing any business with him, he's the one who got hostile, and they hopped on the phone with the police. Had the man went to the front and got out of there, this would have never happened. But hey, like I told you guys, I'm like Marty McFly. I'm in the wrong timeline. I say it every video. If this your first time seeing me, it's your first time hearing it. But if you watch me again, you're going to hear it again. I'm supposed to be in a different version of 2026. The timeline that I'm in, I don't really understand what's going on. I'm trying to get caught up, but I don't understand it, because the timeline that I come from, things don't operate like this. But anyway, y'all let me know what you think. If you haven't seen the other video, go take a look at it, come back to this one, and let me know your thoughts about what it is that you saw on that video and what it is that you see on this one. Do you agree with Ben the critic? Ben a critic? Or do you say I'm completely off on my assessment as far as what you think? But either way, jump down in the comments and let me know what you think about this. That's it for this video. I'll see you guys on the next one. I'm out.